Hello everyone, I welcome you all in this lecture and here I am going to talk about biopesticides. Now there are so many drawbacks are there in the chemical synthetic pesticides and so there is a need of biopesticides. Actually these pesticides are used for controlling the pests. Pests are the organisms which produce damaging effects. And generally the chemical pesticides which are used are carcinogenic in nature. Very common examples we can say that organophosphate pesticides, organochlorine pesticides like DDT and such chemical pesticides exerts their harmful effects on the living organisms. Actually, when we apply these chemical pesticides, these get enter into the food items and when we consume the food items, these may produce hazardous effects on the health. And due to these health effects, there is a need to develop some more alternatives of these chemical synthetic pesticides. And one of that alternative is the use of biopesticides. Biopesticides are the formulations which are containing living organisms or the toxins which are produced by them or some natural materials and which are effective in controlling the pests. So let's talk about these in detail. What are biopesticides? Biopesticides term comprised of two words. Bio means biological agent or any natural agent and pesticide means the substance which kill the damaging pests. So we can say that biopesticides are the natural substances or the biological agents which are used for the control of pests. Now, mostly the biopesticides are used for the control of agricultural pests and these may be unwanted plants like weeds, these may be insects or these may be pathogenic fungi which produce diseases in the plants. Thus, these pesticides kills the living organisms that is maybe unwanted plants, insects, fungi. So these may be called as biocides. Now these are derived from natural materials or some biological agents which may be animals, plants or microorganisms. And sometimes the natural enemies of the pests are also used as biopesticides for the control of these pests and these are termed as predators, parasites, etc. Now these biopesticides are better than chemical synthetic pesticides because they do not generally exert their toxic effects on the organism who is using these biopesticides as well as these also do not exert their non-toxic and do not exert any toxic effect on the non-target organisms. Uh, and thus these are highly desirable and sustainable tools for the management of plant diseases. Advantages of biopesticides. There are several characteristics are there in the biopesticides which make these pesticides better than chemical synthetic pesticides and these pesticides are generally less toxic and thus less harmful to the environment and so these are eco-friendly in nature. These are inexpensive, these are renewable that is we can produce these pesticides again and again. These are safe to handle, safe to use and these are specific to their target. They do not exert any effects on the non-target organisms. They affect only the pests or the closely related organisms of that pest. And these have been found to be effective in very small concentration. And when these are added up, then these decompose quickly in the environment. Mostly the natural substances which are used for the control of pests are proteinaceous in nature and the proteases which are produced by microorganisms in the soil, they degrade these very quickly, and so there is no pollution problem is associated with the biopesticides. And when we use these biopesticides as a component of integrated pest management, these these become more effective because these lower down the use of chemical pesticides. And it is also very difficult for the insects to develop resistance against these kinds of pesticides, so these can be used again and again for the control of same type of insects. So these are the different advantages of biopesticides which make these biopesticides attractive uh, as compared to the chemical synthetic pesticides. Limitations of biopesticides. Now there are certain limitations are also there of these biopesticides, and these are slow in action, that is they takes long time for the control of pest. These lack persistence. Most of the biopesticides or natural substances which are applied are proteinaceous in nature and are degraded by the proteases, so they cannot exert long term effect on the pests. And most of these are also degraded by UV light, so these do not show their residual action in the environment. They lack wide spectrum of activity. So for different kinds of pests, there is a requirement of development of different kinds of biopesticides. So much studies are required in this case. Now the plant-based biopesticides are available only when plants are there, and plants are usually seasonal. So there is a need of storage of these biopesticides. These are also not easily available. These shows poor water solubility, and these are also not systemic in nature. These are localized in nature. They only affect the region where these have been applied and only control the specific pest and the related pests. So when there are many kinds of pests are there, so we have to apply many kinds of biopesticides at a place. And most of the products which have been synthesized under that category are not scientifically verified. And biopesticides which are based on microbes and which may be based on plants, one type of biopesticide is controlling one kind of pest, so there is much need of paying attention to develop more and more kind of biopesticides to control the various kinds of pests. And also much attention is required for the methods which are used for the formulations, for the preparation of the formulations of biopesticides and the methods of their application. So much and much studies are required to develop different types of biopesticides for different kinds of pests. Types of biopesticides. Now biopesticides are of different types, and these are: first one are microbial pesticides. These are the pesticides which are derived from microbes. Microbes may be bacteria, fungi, protozoans, viruses, and when the cells of these microbes or the toxins produced by these microbes are used as pesticides, then these are termed as microbial pesticides. Now next one are plant incorporated protectants. When some genes have been transferred into the plants, and these genetically engineered plants when produce some pesticidal activities, then these are termed as plant incorporated protectants. Next one are biochemical pesticides. These are the chemicals which are produced by the living organisms, maybe of animal origin or plant origin, and when these naturally occurring chemicals are used as pesticides, then these are termed as biochemical pesticides. Now, botanical pesticides are derived from plants. If some plant has pesticidal activity, then in a powder form or in a extract form, we can take the natural substances from that plant and we can use these substances as pesticides, and these are termed as botanical pesticides. Now next one is biotic agents. Sometimes there are natural enemies are there also of the pests, like predators. Predators feeds on prey, and when prey are acting as pests, then we can use their population by applying the predators. And parasitoids or parasites. Parasites are the organisms which feed on the host organisms, and when their host acts as pest, then we can apply these parasites or parasitoids. And usually the prey are of smaller size as compared to the predators, and host are, and parasites are of smaller size as compared to their host. And when these natural enemies are applied against the prey or the host organism of the parasites, then these are termed as biotic agents or biopesticides. Microbial pesticides. Microbial pesticides are comprised of microscopic living organisms, which may be viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoans, or the toxins produced by these microscopic living organisms. There are several kinds of microbial pesticides and which are used for the control of variety of pests, and these pesticides are specific to their action. Suppose there is a fungi that is controlling a weed, a specific kind of weed, then it only controls that weed. And if there is another fungi which is controlling insects, it will only control the specific kind of insects. Thus, these microbial pesticides are specific to their target pests. There may be insecticides, fungicides, herbicides which kill the insects, fungi, or the weeds. These microbial pesticides are also applied on the crops, same as that of conventional pesticides, in the form of sprays, dust, or granules. And due to the different characteristics of microbial pesticides, like their specificity to the target pest, their non-toxic nature, and their non-pathogenic action on the animals and humans, make these microbial pesticides an attractive candidate as compared to the chemical synthetic pesticides. Now the microbial pesticides may be of different type. They may be based on bacteria, may be based on fungi or protozoans or viruses and all that. The first one category is bacterial pesticides. The most commonly used bacterial pesticides are based on certain bacteria like Bacillus thuringiensis, Agrobacterium radiobacter, Pseudomonas fluorescens. So let's discuss these three bacterial pesticides in detail. First one is bacterial thuringiensis. This is the most well-known, widely used microbial pesticide, and its so many subspecies and strains are in use as pesticides. And this bacterium produces different proteins, and these proteins are of endotoxins type or delta endotoxins, which produce toxic effects on the insect species. When some insect ingest these toxins damage the midgut of that insect and ultimately kills it. These pesticides have been found to be effective against the larvae of the moths, flies, and mosquitoes. And the main sources that are used for the preparation of Bacillus thuringiensis preparations are the strains of subspecies Courtstaki, Gallery, and Dendrolimus. So this is the most widely used microbial pesticide. And now the next one is Agrobacterium radiobacter. This bacterium is generally used against another bacterium, that is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This Agrobacterium tumefaciens is a soil-borne pathogen that causes a crown gall disease in the roots of various plants. And this Agrobacterium radiobacter has a tendency to colonize on the roots of the host plants, and in this way it covers the host plant roots and prevent the entry of Agrobacterium tumefaciens to the roots, and in this way protect the roots from the infection of Agrobacterium tumefaciens and protect the plants from the crown gall disease. Besides that, Agrobacterium radiobacter also produces an antibiotic, agrocin, and this antibiotic is toxic to Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and in this way protect the plant from the pathogenic effect of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Now third one important bacterial pesticide is based on Pseudomonas fluorescens. Pseudomonas fluorescens has also a tendency to grow quickly in the rhizosphere. It produces a broad spectrum antibiotic, phenazine, that is effective against several fungal root pathogens, and mostly this is used to control the diseases like damping off, which is caused by pythium. It is also used to control rhizoctonia, gomnomyces graminis. So these are the different fungal pathogens which are controlled by the use of bacterium Pseudomonas fluorescens. Now the next one category of microbial pesticides is fungal pesticides, in which fungi are used for the control of various plant pathogens. We can also say that this is the complex interaction between fungus and the pests, and in that complex interaction fungus protect the pests from infecting the plants, and in this way protect the plants from the damaging effects of the pests. And the most of the fungal pesticides are effective against insects, and the fungi of such type are termed as entomopathogenic fungi, and these type of fungi are mostly used as fungal pesticides to control the insect pests. Most commonly used commercial fungal biopesticides are, first one is Trichoderma. This Trichoderma fungus has a tendency to release those enzymes which can dissolve the pathogens, and besides that it has a tendency to colonize on the surface of the roots of the plants, and it forms a barrier around the plant roots and thus protect the plants from the infection by the various pathogenic bacteria and other pathogens. It protects the plants from several soil-borne diseases like root rot. It is also used to control Nectia galligana, which is a fungal plant pathogen and causes silver leaf disease in the fruit trees by entering through the pruning wounds. Now the next one fungal biopesticide which is used commercially is Beauveria bassiana. This fungus infects a range of insects. It is also known to produce a disease, white muscardine, in insects, and in this disease insect larvae become inactive, it stops eating, the elasticity of the cuticle also get lost, and which the insect also experience vomiting, diarrhea, and ultimately die out. After its death, fungus leaves the body of the host insect, and this is effectively used for the control of Pinkenweevil, Colorado potato beetle, and kudzu bug and other pests. Next important commercially used fungal biopesticide is Metarhizium. This is another entomopathogenic fungi, and it is known to cause a disease, green muscardine, in insects. So this is also termed as green muscardine fungus, and it is used in the field to control the crops from the damaging effects of beetle grubs, wireworm, corn rot worms, and other countless uh, other kinds of countless insects. So these are the fungal pesticides which are commercially used as pesticides. Now the other microbial pesticides may be based on protozoans, viruses and all that. So these are, first one is protozoan based pesticides. Protozoa are unicellular eukaryotic microorganisms, and these are also used as pesticides. Example is Nosema locustei, and this is used against grasshopper species. It infects and weakens the young grasshoppers and also adversely affects the female grasshoppers' ability of reproduction. And in this way, it adversely affects the grasshoppers, so it is used for the control of grasshoppers. Next one is viruses as pesticides. Example is baculoviruses, and these viruses are known to infect the insect species, and the mode of their action is they infect and kill the mainly the caterpillars. They The infected insect stops feeding within a few days, dies and disintegrate. In this way, viruses control the insects and are used as pesticides. Now next one is yeast as pesticides. There are so many species of yeast are there which are non-pathogenic and commonly occurs in the nature. Examples are Cryptococcus, Candida, and these yeast are effective against various fungal pathogens. Examples are grey mold, Botrytis cinerea, blue mold, Penicillium expansum, and all that. So these yeast are used for the control of these fungal pathogens. The mechanisms by which yeast control these fungal pathogens are it produces enzymes which degrade the fungal cell walls. Besides that, it stimulates the plant host defense system and in this way protect the plant from harming effect of fungal pathogens. Plant incorporated protectants. From the name, it is clear that we have to incorporate the plants with something, and then plants produce substances which act as protectants for the plants, that is, protect the plants from the damaging effects of pests. Actually, genes are transferred to the plants to generate genetically modified plants, and these plants produce pesticidal activity. For example, cry gene when transferred from a bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis to crops, then crops produce cry toxin and which destroys the pests and thus protects the crop from the damaging effects of pests. And in this method, both the protein that has been that is synthesized by the plant and the genetic material which has been transferred to the plant are regulated by Environment Protection Agency. Actually, this method is risky, so Environment Protection Agency carries out extensive studies on numerous factors such as the risk to the human health, known target organisms and environment, and the potential of gene flow and the need for insect resistant management plans. That means how much risky are there these plant incorporated protectants to human health, known target organisms or the environment, and whether there is tendency to in the flow of gene from one plant species to the other, and the when the insect produce resistance against these, then how these insects can be managed. Botanical pesticides are the use of plant materials as pesticides. Plant material may be leaf, root, stem, and that material is grounded to make a powder, and this powder is used as a pesticide. It may be applied as such, that is a full strength, and may be applied after mixing with carrier materials like clay, talc, etc. And examples of botanical pesticides are pyrethrins, which are derived from chrysanthemum flower, rotenone from Loncocarpus roots, rhynia from woody stems of rhynia, nicotine from nicotiana leaves, azareactin from neem. Biochemical pesticides. These are the chemicals which are produced naturally by the living organisms. These may be produced by plants, maybe by animals, and when these are used for the control of pests, these are termed as biochemical pesticides. These are the natural produced substances and also control the pests in a natural way, in a non-toxic way as compared to the conventional pesticides. And these may repel the pests, these may kill the pest, inactivate the pest, or these may create a hostile environment for the pests to inhabit. And some of the examples of biochemical pesticides are insect sex pheromone that interferes with the mating, plant hormones that regulate the reproduction, molting, and food finding behaviors in the pests, various scented plant extracts which attract the insect pests to trap them, and these plant extracts are also a kind of biochemical pesticides. Besides that, natural substances like baking soda, canola oil, neem oil, garlic oil, black pepper, these are also naturally produced pesticides by the plants. Now the next category of biopesticides is the release of natural enemies of the pests intentionally into the region and allow them to feed upon the damaging pests or killing the damaging pests. As we all know that organisms are connected with each other via food chains. One type of organism feed on another type. Thus, which feed or kill the other organism is its natural enemy. And this is the way of controlling the pests in a classical way. Thus, natural enemies of the pests have been used as biocontrol agents or biopesticides. And in this method, natural enemies should be selected wisely. Otherwise, these can produce damaging effects on the non-target organisms or on the environment. And examples of natural enemies that are generally used as biopesticides are predators and parasitoids. Now the first one type of natural enemies which are used as biocontrol agents or biopesticides are predators. Predators are the organisms which feed upon the another organisms or kill the another organisms and which are called as prey. These predators are generally free living and usually bigger than their prey. And when we want to use these organisms and as biocontrol agents, then these are intentionally released in large numbers to the site where prey organisms are there, and these prey organisms are producing damaging effects, and we want to control the population of these prey organisms. This type of control is called as inductive biocontrol or augmentation. And examples of insect predators, that means the organisms which feed on or kill the insects, are spiders, flies, bugs like Podyzus and Aureus bugs, beetles like lady beetles, rough beetles, ground beetles, mites like Phytocoelus and Amblyssus, and dragonflies. So these are the different examples of the predator organisms which feed on damaging insects. Now the next category of natural enemies which are used as biocontrol agents are parasitoids. Parasitoids are the organisms which lay their eggs into or onto the body of the host insect. And the developing larvae of these organisms feed on host insect. It either feed on host tissues or its body fluids, and in this way consumes it slowly and ultimately kills it. And parasitoids are generally are of same size as that of their hosts. And most of the insect parasitoids are wasps and flies. Examples of parasitoid organisms which are used as biocontrol agents are bathyplates, Trichogramma, Ancarcia, Mucidiferous, etc.